Hello, good morning, everybody. In last lecture, we learned the definition of demand. In economics, how demand is explained. What are the points which are to be covered while explaining or writing definition of demand. So demand in economics means desire to have something, ability to pay, willingness to pay. If these three things are brought together, you can say that this is demand. Apart from these three conditions, demand is always expressed in terms of price. At what price you have purchased this, people will ask you. So, demand is related with price. And then next point is demand is quantity of purchase made is for a given period of time. Given period of time means have you purchased in a day or in a week or a month or year. So demand is expressed in terms of is related with price, in terms of time. So these five things are to be covered in analyzing or defining or meaning of demand is this. Now today we will go ahead and we will learn analysis of demand. So demand for commodities represented by a demand schedule. A demand schedule is a tabular statement. It is a table that states different quantities or commodities that would be demanded or purchased by a consumer at different prices. Demand schedule is further classified or divided, or there are two types of demand schedule. One is individual demand schedule and another is market demand schedule. Individual demand schedule is a list showing the quantities of commodities or product demanded by an individual. Individual means individual person. By an individual person at different prices in a given period of time. Time is again very important factor to be known for individual demand schedule. Such an individual demand schedule shows alternative prices on one side and various quantities of commodities that would be purchased at those prices. Now, this schedule gives you various quantities at alternative prices. But in actual life, it is difficult to know how much a person will purchase goods at that point of time at that price. So, individual demand schedule is an imaginary schedule for the purpose of understanding. Individual demand schedule is imaginary figures, it shows imaginary figures. Now, I will show you individual demand schedule from my notes and from the textbook. First, let me show you individual demand schedule from your textbook. Now, this is the individual demand schedule which shows prices of sugar and quantity demanded in terms of kg. Price of sugar 25 rupees, quantity demanded 10. Price rises to 26, demand falls to 9. Price rises to 27, demand falls to 8. Price rises to 28, demand falls to 7. Again price rises to 29, demand falls to 6. So, and at 30 price per kg, demand was 5. Now, whatever prices are given here and in my notes, these are all imaginary figures. As on today, you will not get sugar at this price. Now, I will show you the table which is drawn by me in my notes. See, this is the table. Individual demand schedule, prices of apple, quantity of apples demanded. So, this is the table I have given. Now I will come to the explanation of this, and so as the price of a commodity rises, demand for it falls. It shows more quantity will be demanded at a lower price and less when price rises. So, this individual demand schedule shows the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded by the consumers. Now we will go to total demand or market demand. In actual practice or in actual life, in a market, there are large number of buyers who purchase the goods available in the market. Each customer, each consumer has his own demand schedule. His schedule will depend on his income, his likes and dislikes. The sum or total of these individual demand schedule constitute market or total or community demand. Thus, it can be defined as a schedule indicating various quantities of commodities that would be purchased by all the consumers at various alternative prices, again during period of time. So, this table will show you the table which is given in the textbook. Again I will show you. So, and that I will explain. So this is market demand schedule. Prices of sugar are given here: 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Now A is purchasing at 21 rupees 10 quantity, B 11, C 12, because B and C might be having more test for this sugar. His family, size of family might be more. So the total of these three, 10, 11, 12, comes to 33. So market demand or total demand at price 25 is 33. As the price rises to 26, demand of A falls from 10 to 9, B 11 to 10, C 12 to 11. So total demand falls to 33 as the price of sugar goes by rupee 1. So again, total demand or market demand is 30 at rupees 26. Now, when again price rises to 27, again demand of A falls to 8, B 9, C 10. Total demand or market demand or community demand is 27. When price again rises to 28, from 27 to 28, again demand falls of A 7, 8 to 7, 9 to 8, 10 to 9, 24 is the total market demand. Now, when price of sugar rises to 29, again demand falls because the size of income might be less and the likes and dislikes might change. The intensity will also change. Depending on the price, it might change also. So 8 to 7, 9 to 8, total market demand is 21. So when the price is 30, demand falls to 5 of A, to 6 of B, to 7 of C. So total demand or market demand is 28. So this explains the tendency of consumer or relationship between price and total quantity demanded by consumers at various prices. So it says, it explains both market demand or individual demand. This schedule shows that as the price of a commodity falls, demand will rise, or on the other hand, if price of commodity rises, demand will fall. Now we will go to next point, and that is factors affecting demand. So individual demand or market demand will be affected by many factors which are as under. Now, first factor which affects demand is price. Price is one of the important factor which greatly affects demand. So, which is already explained to by me in your individual market demand schedule. When price of a commodity falls, demand for those goods will rise, and when price rises, demand falls. But apart from price, there are many factors which in actual life affects demand. So second point that affects the demand is income. Income, if there is a rise in income, demand for goods will increase. If you have अपना खिस्सा अगर गर्म है तो हम लोग ज़्यादा परचेस करेंगे. So if there is rise in income, demand for goods will increase, and on the other hand, if income reduces, demand will fall. So in present situation, the income of many consumers, those who are working, those who are working on daily basis, or those who are not permanent, those salaries, wages will not be received by them in this period. So their income has fallen. Naturally, demand has fallen, will fall. So demand for a commodity depends on income of an individual. Next factor which affects demand is taste of a person, preferences, habits, customs followed by consumers. So these factors has a powerful influence on level of demand for a commodity. If the consumer begins to dislike a commodity, its demand will fall. Though the price remaining same, even though the price is same, if we dislike the particular product after consuming, then the demand for that commodity will fall. On the other hand, if the consumers develop a new taste and begin to like a commodity, then they will buy more. Now, this taste is influenced by fashion, advertisement, publicity, etc. Now, next factor affecting demand is price of substitute. So, demand not only depends upon the quantity which a buyer is buying, but it also depends upon the substitute which is available in the market. So, for example, if we consider the demand for a Colgate toothpaste, the prices of substitutes like Pepsodent, Vicco, etc., we have to assume that the prices of these substitute or competitors is to be taken as constant. But if the price of Colgate falls, the demand for it will rise, provided the prices of its substitute remains constant. On the other hand, if the prices of Pepsodent or Vicco falls, the demand for Colgate will not change. So, in other words, demand also depends on prices of substitute available in the market. Now, next point is expectation about future prices. When the price of a commodity falls, consumer should not expect further fall in price. If he expects that, so he will not buy. Suppose the price of sugar is 40 rupees a kg, and if it falls to 38, then consumer should buy that because price of it falls. But he expects that it will further fall, then the demand for sugar will not rise. So, expectation about future prices is not to be considered, and if you consider, then demand will affect. The next point is very important, and that is population. Population greatly affects the demand. More is demanded when population increases and less when it declines. It can be observed, if you can find out, that at the same price, bigger family will buy more quantity than smaller family. So, population in your society also, you must have found out that as the construction of buildings go on increasing, then flat owners in your area, if they are more, then the demand for all necessities of life, milk, bread, will increase even though the price is constant or even though price rises. So, population greatly affects demand for a commodity. Now, next factor affecting demand is new product. New product introduced in the market. When the demand for one product is considered, we have to assume, while learning the law of demand, that no new product will be introduced in the market. For example, mobile came into the market, so the demand for telephone has gone down. There was black and white TV. When color TV came into existence, the demand for black and white went down. So, when new product is introduced in the market, it will affect the demand, irrespective of what is the price. Now, next point is taxation policy of the government. So, direct tax and indirect tax affects the demand for a product. Changes in the tax rate, changes in the income tax rate and GST made by the government will affect demand for that commodity by the consumer. Now, next point which affects that demand is advertisement. The market demand for goods is created through advertisement and publicity or salesmanship. Attractive advertisement through radio, TV, newspapers, magazines, free samples, after sale service will result into increase in demand for those goods. Now, there are other factors which also affects demand, and that is weather condition. Heavy monsoon or during droughts, the demand for that commodity will affect, because the demand for goods will be down or up depending upon the climatic condition. Similarly, political situation will also affect demand. Now, traditions, customs followed by various religions. So during Diwali, during Ganpati, the demand for certain goods is more. On the other hand, during other festivals, the other uh, people from other religions will demand goods during their festivals. So these are the various factors which affects demand. So while learning the law of demand, we have to assume that uh, the law of demand is only for it is law of demand is explaining the situation, behavior of consumer only affecting price. So whatever factors I have told you other than price, we have to assume that these factors will remain constant. Now coming to next part. So far we have seen what is the meaning and definition of demand. Then we saw what is individual demand and what is market demand. And then we saw factors affecting demand. Now we'll go to next topic of analysis of demand is types of demand. Now there are various types of demand like derived demand, direct demand, joint or complementary demand, then composite demand, competitive demand. So there are various types of demand which is covered in your syllabus. Now let us try to understand which are these types of demand. The first type is direct demand. When a commodity or service satisfy human wants directly, the demand for such commodity is called direct demand. Again I will repeat, when a commodity is or service satisfy human wants directly of the consumer, then that demand for a commodity or service is called direct demand. All consumers like us have direct demand. Direct demand means what? We go to shop, we buy something and satisfy our want. That is called direct demand, simple. So the commodities which are purchased by us every day in the form of food, clothing, mobile, TV, etc., bike, etc., is called direct demand. Now, second type of demand is derived demand or indirect demand. The demand for factors of production is called derived demand. This demand is made by producers or manufacturers. Why it is called? What is derived demand? The definition I told you. But coming to next point is that demand for labor, demand for machinery, demand for land, demand for raw material, demand for electricity is indirect demand or derived demand. So derived demand is dependent demand. The demand for workers is dependent. Now what it means? This is called indirect demand by a manufacturer or producer. Take the example of a ball pen manufacturer or person who is manufacturing or making ready-made cloths. A manufacturer manufacturing ball pens will demand more machines and labor if the demand for ball pens goes up. उसके पास 4 मशीन है, वो रोज 1000 बॉल पेन बनाता है. उसको एक्सपोर्ट ऑर्डर आया for 1 year, 2 years, then he will buy more machines. He will appoint more workers. He will give overtime to the present workers. So, the demand for factor of production, that is machinery, workers, is dependent on the demand which is for ball pen. So, the demand which is dependent on another consumer products which are produced by producer is called derived demand. So derived demand is of manufacturer or producer. Direct demand is made by consumer. Suppose a person is making ready-made garments, so he will be having suppose 10 sewing machines, and if demand for ready-made garment goes up, then he will buy more machines, he will appoint more workers. But if the demand for his product, ball pens or ready-made garment falls, then he will sell the machinery or he will remove the workers from his employment. So derived demand is dependent demand. It is indirect demand. Coming to next point of type is joint or complementary demand. When two goods are demanded and which satisfy the want at the same time, it is called joint or complementary demand. When two goods are demanded at the same time to satisfy one want, it is called joint demand. Pen and ink, petrol and car, sugar and milk. So these are complementary or joint demand. A change in demand for one commodity results into change in demand for another commodity in same proportion. Means if petrol price goes up, the demand for car will fall. So that is called complementary demand. Now coming to next point is composite demand. Now composite demand means when a commodity is required for several uses, it is called composite demand. For example, steel is used for manufacturing cars, refrigerators, railway wagons. Coal is used for household, railways. Electricity is used for ironing, seeing TV, etc. A change in demand for a commodity for one use will affect the demand for others. The change may be due to price of one use or another. Now next point is competitive demand. Competitive demand, when two commodities are close substitute of each other, then there is competitive demand. For example, tea and coffee. So these are various types of demand we have discussed. And now next point is regarding law of demand. Now, as I told you that law of demand is divided into three sections, and that is law itself, assumptions of law of demand, and exceptions to the law of demand. As I told you while explaining law of diminishing marginal utility, this law of demand is also divided into three parts. And that is in law of demand, again it is divided into three parts. That is explanation of law itself, then demand schedule, which explains the tendency of the consumer in relation to price. Now, and third part of drawing diagram of schedule, which will show you how demand is affecting consumers because of the price. Now, if you like this video, you can share this video with your friends and relatives. Now, today I will give you the brief explanation of law and schedule and diagram or demand curve. It is diagram means demand curve. We will see tomorrow. So now try to understand what is law of demand. The law of demand states that other things remaining constant, other things remaining unchanged, a larger quantity of a product or commodity will be demanded at a lower price than at a higher price. Again, I will repeat. The law of demand states that other things remaining constant means there are many factors in practice, in actual life, affects demand. But now, in order to understand this law, you should assume that other factors which I told you, that change in income, change in population, change in taste and habits, also affects demand. But while understanding, while explaining, you have to assume that, so the law states, the law of demand states that other conditions remaining same or constant, comma, larger quantity of a commodity or product is demanded at lower price than higher price. According to Marshall, the law of demand states that the quantity demanded rises with the fall in price and diminishes with the rise in price. In other words, the law states that demand is inversely related to each other, means both are showing opposite trend. Means if price rises, demand falls. So there is opposite or inverse relationship between price and demand. More is demanded at a lower price or less is demanded at a higher price. In short, demand for commodity expands. You have to use expand word. Rise, don't use word increase while explaining the law. In short, demand for commodity expands as the price falls and contracts, in bracket falls you can say, as the price rises. So the relationship between price and quantity demanded is negative. This inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded exists both in individual demand and market demand. When, in case of market means when there are large number of buyers buying a particular commodity at a given price of time, at a particular time. So this first part I have explained, that is explanation of your law of demand. In the next lecture, we will talk about demand schedule, demand curve, and assumptions and exceptions to law of demand. So tomorrow I will be taking lecture on accounts and we'll come back for economics day after tomorrow. Thank you.